Do you ever just build up your entire setup and then you don't film for 4 hours because you're lazy as hell? Same. What is up, my dudes, dudettes, and dudeless people? My name is Sam, and I go by He-Dub. Another day, another art challenge. Sam, you used to be much more creative than that. Was I, though? Back in the good old days, every video was a get cosplay ready with me. Was I really that much more creative? Those scenarios never happen anyway. I just make them up, and just because my comedy is dry as hell. Another day, another art challenge. Yeah, we already went over that. I would say it's a TikTok art challenge because I've seen it on TikTok a lot, but I've also seen it on Instagram and my friends did it as well. I'm just gonna call it TikTok art challenge to get that sweet, sweet clout. What was the challenge? The challenge was to take a glass picture frame and paint on the glass, basically. It's been around forever. Recently, it has turned into a trend of taking a screenshot from any anime, like your favorite fucking anime, and put it on the glass, basically. A lot of people forgot to mirror the image, which I thought was pretty funny, because that is a mistake that would happen to me if I didn't remind myself, like, remember to mirror the image, bitch. But I didn't want to do this with an anime screenshot, even though there are plenty of scenes out there that I would love to screenshot and transfer onto glass, but I wanted to do my own art. And I mean, what would this show be without mistakes? I made one mistake, and that is to not do just a headshot. A headshot is basically just, why are you empty? Battery, why? So, my first mistake, I guess it's not really a mistake, it's more or less to just make the thing easier. For the most part, I've seen people use headshots. A headshot or a portrait. I also failed French, okay? Leave me alone. Essentially, a headshot or a portrait is when you draw just the head. Then there's also a bust shot, which is down to the chest. There's an upper body shot and a full body shot. Those two should be self-explanatory. So I guess in my case, instead of going with a simple portrait slash headshot, I went with a upper body drawing, an upper body shot down to the hip. You can kind of vary whenever you do an upper body thing, if you want to stop at the waist or stop at the hip. It's like kind of up to you, I guess. But I went with the hip because I still wanted to show some of the puffy dress that I designed for my girl Vanita. So I made an upper body drawing with a bunch of details, because what makes the anime art style so good for this challenge is the simplicity of it. It's cel shaded, so you don't have to do any big blending or whatever. It doesn't really have like the big varying outlines. It's just thin lines all over and done. It's just fairly simple, but it has a good effect. But my dumb ass thought, hey, nah, let's make it complicated. So it wasn't really a mistake. I just made it harder for myself. I made the sketch, I also mirrored the sketch. I printed it out, I taped it to the glass, and started the outlines. However, I was shaky as fuck, because your boy is addicted to energy drinks. Monster, if you ever want to sponsor me, hit me up. So mistakes were prone to happen. Sometimes the outline would turn out too thick. But luckily, the black paint that I used dried super quickly, and with a wooden skewer, or a wooden toothpick, you could easily just scratch the mistake away. The next day I started doing the color work. I started with the gold and the silver because Vanita's color scheme, for the most part, did I introduce the character? This is like my 4th attempt on recording this. I don't remember if I introduced the character. Let me just squish it right in here. Vanita is one of my own original characters. She's also one of the models. I mean, most of my OCs are models. She's one of the models I use in my fictional world, and she comes from a rich family. Her parents are Grand Duke and Grand Duchess of where the fuck did I don't have that part yet down yet, but they're Grand Duke and Grand Duchess of their little town or whatever. I've had this idea of this OC in particular in a Victorian dress for a while now, because she is the goth in the group. A cultured meme connoisseur would say she's the big titty goth GF, which she is. So I've been meaning to draw her in a Victorian dress like that for a while now. Originally I wanted to do it as a watercolor painting, but I just didn't do it. I just didn't. So I was like, hey, this last challenge, this glass painting challenge sounds pretty neat. Let's take that idea and put it in there. Let's take this idea and push it somewhere else. I don't know the English quote, I just know the German one. Wir nehmen einfach die Idee und schieben sie woanders hin. Thanks, Patrick. Very cool. Vanita's color scheme in general is purple, black, and gold, with some silver accents because her eyes are silver. And I used silver and gold metallic paint for the accents that are in the picture. And it was a good choice because it looks like it's basically glowing with the glass on top. It looks so pretty. Spoiler alert, this challenge turned out pretty good and I love the result. So I started with that because I also didn't have to mix these colors. I also added in the white, but then came the mixing process. I started with the purple. It didn't turn out bad. And then I remembered, wait a minute, I need to find a way to paint in the veil because that thing needs to be translucent. So I sat there.
Barbecue sauce on my titties.
I was like, what am I going to do? What I ended up doing was I took some black acrylic paint, made it thinner with water. I know there's paint thinner out there, but I don't own that. It had a kind of watercolory effect by the end when it dried. But I'm not mad. I actually think it looks kind of dope. You have to start with the highlights and the shading before you go in with the base color, because otherwise you wouldn't see it on the other side. After I finished painting the hair and the veil, I moved on to the skin. I already had the highlights down when I did the white paint, so basically I just did the shading and then the base color. Same thing with the black parts of the dress. I mixed some acrylic paint, some black acrylic paint with some white so that it's lighter than the outline. So technically speaking, it is a dark gray that I used, but psst, it's a secret. And that's basically it. I let it dry. I painted the background. I figured if I left the background black, you wouldn't see the veil and the translucent paint that I put on there. So I just left over purple that I still had. I just dabbed it onto the, like there was no tomorrow. Now, I didn't do much commentary during the painting because I was so focused on painting. But yeah, that was basically the entire challenge. I didn't fuck up too bad. Here's my reaction to the painting once it was revealed, because I didn't look at the painting from the other side, not once. Seems about dry. I started coloring in the sketch, but that's not important right now. What's important right now is oh my god! Fuck! It's all good, it's still alive. Okay. Grand reveal. I'm not gonna count down, I'm just gonna... Oh my god! I absolutely love it. Holy shit, that's nice. Wow. I love it. Thank you. Oh, wow. That looks so high quality. I'm impressed. Damn. I love it. Okay, I put it onto the background and it looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, there are some mistakes, like up here, there's a little smear, and I think here's one, and here is one. But honestly, I'm not mad about it. I love it. It's stunning. I mean, there are some weird little blotches over there, but I can't be mad. I love it. And also the veil, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but the way it did turn out looks pretty neat. Holy fuck. No, this is great. I want to do this more often, but I have no room to hang the pieces up, so it's gonna be a bit complicated, but wow. I am in love. I'm really starting to enjoy these art challenges. They're quite a lot of fun, and I'm thinking of doing a lot more in the future. Mostly traditional art, because I spend so much money on all these paints and markers and pencils, and it would be a shame to not use them. Even if last time I complained about wasting so much ink, but at least I was using it. That's it for today. I hope to see you in the next video of whatever it'll be. And actually, I know what the next video will be. And be excited, because it's the first video my editor Jackie edited for me. And I've already seen the footage and I was crying laughing. So, be excited for that. I know I am. Bye bye!